I love it up here.
You do love it, good.
I do. If I'm ever going to go to Connecticut, I always take the ferry. Because who wants to sit through the
Isn't it
Nassau,
great?
Queens, New York City traffic?
Right, you'll pay the 80 just to avoid that. Plus, you can eat and drink on there.
Right?
It's phenomenal.
You can. I've seen bands on there before.
Fantastic.
In the summertime.
Yes.
Outside on the deck there. It's pretty awesome.
You're looking good, man.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I gained a little bit of weight from a few years ago.
Yeah.
I grew a beard.
I love.
You know.
Got the Heisenberg look.
I got the Walter White thing going on. I can't complain, especially when I put on the glasses.
I love that show, by the way.
Oh, one of the best. They're making a movie about Breaking Bad. Yeah.
And that's after Walt died?
I guess when Jesse drives away from the final scene.
Gotcha.
Because you don't know where he's going.
Millions. It'll make millions.
Oh, forget it.
Fantastic. What have you been up to? Tell us about your professional life. Then we'll go into a few other things. You're a music guy. I pre-introduced you. People don't get it. I don't even know one other person that does what you do.
Well, that's good because I don't need competition.
Yeah, but I mean, I think of you PR, right? Marketing. You're a master of referral. I've gotten many referrals, right? So if somebody's doing this, but they need this, you're doom, 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 doom. You got it all lined up, man.
That's one of my favorite things to do, is to be like the professional middleman. It's rewarding to be able to say, hey, I know this guy, I know this guy. They both need to do something together, and it helps both the common good.
Absolutely.
Because it comes back to you. You can't do it with that in mind, but at the end of the day, the more good you do, the more good that comes back.
So true. Such a golden rule.
Believe it.
Now, the other thing you do, which is near and dear to my heart, is you cultivate artists, musical artists. Mm-hmm. You recognize their talent. Is that called agency? Is that management? What exactly?
Well, it's a talent scout. It's A&R would be the word back in the day, artists and repertoire in the record label days, which there's still labels, but it's obviously a whole new game now.
What is the game now?
It's a lot more open.
It's not even downloads anymore, by the way. It's streaming.
Yeah, it's all streaming. It's been streaming for the past few years. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, a lot of different services exist. Rhapsody still exists in some form. Believe it or not, Napster still exists in some form. And the way to get your music out there now is by sending your music as much as you can to these services, aggregating it, and then really worrying about touring revenue, worrying about merchandise, because they're paying a quarter of a percentage point for each stream. So I think it was something like 1 million streams gets you like $1,500.
Okay, that's tough.
It's not really.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, so that's not really a
I want to shed a little
business
tear
model,
based on
if you will,
because things have changed. I want to mention this band, and I don't know if you like them or not. I'm older than you, so I grew up with them. I saw Kiss's last concert, what they're calling the last tour, and I do believe it'll be the last tour. And I have to tell you something, I never saw it was the most amazing, well-oiled, electrifying show. They just have it down so well. It was really, really impressive. You could just tell, look, we figured this out, but we're giving they gave the fans 150%, like they say, hottest band in the land. But, I was thinking about you through the whole show because even Gene has said, and I know Gene's an ass, if I may say that, but he even said things have changed just so ridiculously, in the music business. How do you get from A to B, and B is just like making a living? Never mind going from B to C, which is superstardism. It's very hard, right?
You've always had to give it 100%. You can't be a weekend warrior. You can't expect things to happen for you. You have to go on the road and sleep in a van and eat baked beans out of the can and put your music first above everything else. You still have to do that. You've always had to do that. But now you need to find some sort of marketing budget, some sort of revenue that's going to come in and it's going to drive you, because it's like I said before, it's an open field now in a lot of ways, because the record labels still have the marketing muscle, but you can literally go out there on your own, put your songs on the services, and get a lot of streams in a similar situation as some of these major label signed acts, if you will, getting onto playlists, getting onto different blogs like Pitchfork or Stereo Gum, some of the more influential playlist influencers, Instagram, Twitter. There's a lot of ways to do it on your own. So what people do a lot is they hire our company to do a lot of those kind of services for them, label services. Whereas they're not signed to a label, but they need the same marketing muscle, if you will, that they have so that they can kind of compete in today's marketplace, which is open.
Let's get an example of that. An artist that you work with, Brooke Morover, right?
Absolutely.
Very talented. I saw her last at Long Beach on the Beach. at the film festival, blew me away. What's been her trajectory? I think she's a good example of somebody, right? She's putting it all out there, right? And she's played New York City venues. What is she doing in terms of marketing?
So we've been doing a lot of different things. We've built a team now for her, and we're hitting all the different avenues that we need to. Like I said, we're acting as the marketing department for her label.
Right.
Right. So she has
She
a
sure as
radio
hell doesn't have
promoter.
time for it.
Right. Well, she's writing, she's performing,
What she
she's
should be
singing. Right. Doing what an artist wants to do, what they're made to do, not necessarily worrying about the minutia of getting it out there. A lot of artists aren't really even good at that. Brooke is, but a lot of other artists, they really are introverted in a lot of ways, where they just need to play their music and they're there to put on the show. But then after that, they kind of secede from the everyday operations of a business. So she has a team, and then we all hit different avenues. So the PR, the marketing, the social media, the Spotify promotion, the radio promotion, the shopping around for record deals, the looking for publishing placements on TV and radio syncs.
Do you walk around in life constantly with your eye open to seeing talent like that? I mean, is that something that you are cognizant of?
That's still my dream, is to
That's what I
find
thought,
the
yeah.
next big thing, the next 15-year-old kid sitting on the sidewalk with no shoes on, playing an acoustic guitar that they bought, from the Five and Dime store. I mean, I still believe that exists.
Yeah. Now, we should mention that you yourself are a musician. Your band is magnificent. You play with your sister. Tell us about Iridescence.
Iridescence, we've been around about 25 years now, not to date myself. We've done a lot. We've played a bunch of different big gigs with people like the Spin Doctors, Gin Blossoms.
Original music.
Yeah, Sugar Ray. We had a bunch of songs on television shows, on Nickelodeon back in the day.
Yeah.
So I kind of know what it takes on the business side, but I also know what it takes on the musician side. Yeah. And I just wrote a whole new album that I'm putting out. Iridescence, we put records out every few years. We play here and there.
So you wrote this album. Are you in a studio? Are you recording it?
Yes, I'm recording it right now.
Fantastic.
And
what's that? That's a fun process, right?
It is. It's. I went through a lot of changes recently, and so
Personal changes.
And so I was able to really focus more time on the craft.
You haven't gone through menopause, have you?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's coming. I have some gray in the beard, so what's next?
Give me some cool events that we should know about. You're always the event guy. I know you were so integrated with so many different event people. You attend them, you make them. What should we look forward to? It's April now. Give me the next 3 months.
So, okay, the next 3 months. There's a lot of, believe it or not, town and local area festivals that come up around this time of year. Spring fests. I would encourage people to check that out. Go to the different places that have the streets closed and eat the Zeppelis.
Riverhead has that. Patch has that.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Merrick on the South Shore,
attend
Belmore.
the Montauk Music Festival?
I'm going to be playing the Montauk Music Festival in May. That's going to be phenomenal. Also, Iridescence is playing. Some of the other artists I work with are going to be performing, all types of kinds. And yeah, it's going to be a really fun time. We also have the Soho International Film Festival at the beginning of June. That happens in Manhattan. I know you've gone to that before. And
you have a couple of film festivals you work with, right?
We do. Well, we do the music at the Long Beach International Film Festival every year.
So they have a music production component. Actually, it's on one of their big nights. They put a stage out near the ocean, and you book that entire stage.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun. We usually just put one band on, then a bunch of singers, so that it doesn't become like a big mess.
Right.
And
well, sorry, I mean, you're programming stuff. It's important because you've got to make things happen in between what the main event is.
Right. So that kind of encompasses our whole business. We work with publicity, marketing, social media, bookings, any kind of other promotions, management type duties.
Yep.
And that, I think, sets us apart. Like you said, we're kind of unique in that way because I'm a guy that worked at Arista Records in Manhattan. I ran concert venues like the Downtown.
Awesome.
I helped launch radio stations like 94.3 The Shark. And so I have kind of the experience that allows me to be able to be that middleman guy that you were talking about earlier.
Tell me about your show that you do every Monday night. It's so cool.
Every Monday night, 90.3 WHPC between 9 and 10 p.m. It's called Rising Stars Radio. Been on for a little over 2 years. We play the best in emerging artists from around the world with focus on the local New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, of course, area. So much talent out here. You are a phenomenal guitar player.
Thank you, sir.
And you know, because you've been doing it even longer than I have. And it's kind of like who's going to get the next break. Because if you look at Long Island, there's never been a place in the world, and you can take that to the bank, that's had more famous musicians.
Couldn't agree more.
It's not even close. You know, I'm
is that?
not going to just rattle it off now,
Right.
but you could get to 40 people before any other place in the world gets to 10.
You're right.
So, no, granted, we're the second biggest city in the country.
Yeah, but
if we're a city, but we're a pretty big city.
you can make that list just on Long Island.
That's what I'm saying, just on Long Island.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying if you look at Long Island per capita, it's
Right.
6 million people. So
Right.
there's no other city besides New York City that has more people than
Right.
that.
Very
So, you know, but from that respect, I think that should be a beacon of hope for those from our area that are trying to make it, that are putting in the work, that it really does happen for Long Islanders.
Definitely does. I want to ask you a crazy question. Can you think of an artist today that is big, selling a lot, getting rich, but they're not that talented?
How much time you have?
I don't want. Oh God.
I'm not a negative person.
I don't want.
I can't bash someone.
No, I just want you to look back and say, God, how did that person make it? It's okay, you know. You can be honest.
A lot of times, if you're asking yourself that question, it comes down to a few different things. Number one, was there just some sort of shtick to it? Was there some gimmick to it? Was it some silly dance? You know, that sort of thing. Sure, most of those people don't have that much talent.
So eventually it'll decline.
Well, it's like a one-hit wonder sort of thing.
Sure.
Secondarily, unfortunately, was your dad famous? Like, did your uncle know the head of a record label? Does your dad have $1 billion? I mean, those things, nepotism, cronyism, that sort of thing goes on. I think in any business, but especially in the music business, it's a lot harder to hide.
Yes.
Or in sports too. I mean, if you look at how many juniors or thirds I'm sure they're good, but I would venture to guess that there's students, players, artists that are just as good or better that don't have that pedigree, and they kind of don't necessarily get the opportunity that some
said.
other
You still
people
didn't
do.
mention artists. I understand that. That's no problem. But we'll talk about it off camera. Your own band plays when next? Because I love your band.
Oh, thank you so much. When are we playing next?
Oh, you're recording now. You're recording.
We're recording right now. We're playing in the summer at the Jones
Yep.
Beach Band Show.
Oh, I want to talk to you about that. One of the things you're most proud about is opening this up. And people that have not visited, this is a jewel of Long Island. This band shell that exists on the boardwalk.
Right.
Who I've seen a few artists there play. You actually program that music, right?
I do, yes. We've got the contract now for 3 years with Guy Bronya at All Music. We handle the sound, the staging, the booking, promotion.
So give me a typical act that would be there this summer.
It's
you'd
like going.
You'd have tribute bands.
So it's like what I like to say is it's like going to Jones Beach Theater, but getting the doppelganger bands.
Well,
so it's all tributes.
And not paying $120.
Right, and it's free. so you'll get Van Halen, you'll get Journey, you'll get Pearl Jam, you'll get Jimmy Buffett, you'll get all of these guys, but it's the tribute band.
But here's the thing, right? So you can go spend a day at the beach and then end up at the show at what time?
It starts at 8 p.m. every night. It's 8 to 11, 8 to 10:30,
So
depending on the
day,
weather.
right? Day at the beach, right? Have fun. Go get a nice ice cream on the boardwalk.
Or
'cause
beer.
It always tastes better. Or beer. And then enjoy a free show. This is awesome.
It is, and there's thousands of people that come out. They bring their lounge chairs. They just hang out. It's
What
all
nights
ages.
does this take place?
So Tuesday nights is a kids' night where actually we have children's performers. Wednesday nights are line dancing because Long Island just loves country music these days.
One country, yeah.
And Thursdays is movies. We have some of the best movies, including The Avengers, Ant-Man and Wasp, all of the different Disney ones. You'll have to check out the website for that.
Absolutely.
And Fridays and Saturdays is tribute acts, and then we have local artists opening acoustically.
Fantastic.
Original.
Excellent. For those listening, you should check out rickeberleagency.com,
Mm-hmm.
correct? We should mention that just for regular businesses not related to music, you do PR work.
100%. Accounting firms, law firms, banks.
People that need exposure.
Real estate. Absolutely.
Right.
If you're launching a new business, or if you're launching a new product, or if you have a new office, or if you are doing some sort of charity event, there's a lot of different reasons to start a PR campaign. And especially on Long Island, we're very entrenched with the right people to know, editors, writers, reporters,
That's what it's
etc.
about. You know, people that think just a Facebook post is going to do it for them, they need to go beyond that to the local news. I want to mention two businesses that are on the show today, Prohibition Kitchen and The Shelf. They're right up the street. I want to introduce you to
Yeah,
those
check
two.
them out.
And if you can help them out, good luck with that. It'd be fantastic. Dude, it was so great seeing you.
Thanks for having
I know
me.
you're not going to be around this weekend, but I want to catch up with you soon.
No doubt.
We'll hit a show together.
All right, thanks,
Thank
bud.
you. All the
All right.
best.